as far as gig workers are concerned, no more 10-minute time deadline for delivery. This is a huge relief when it comes to workers. This is the Labour Ministry there intervening in regard to Blinkit to drop that 10-minute delivery promise. That is now what has been said by the Labour Ministry. So the ministry there saying that they have spoken with Blinkit, with Zepto, with Swiggy and Zomato, and the ministry has asked these platforms to remove that delivery time limit. Akhilesh, my colleague, joining us. Akhilesh, after recently that gig worker who lost his life because he'd been hit by that bus on the route while he was making that delivery, this is the decision that has now been taken by the labour industry.
That's correct. In fact, Labour Minister intervened in this matter. What you've been told by the sources that he had called the representatives of all these online platforms like Blinkit, Zepto, Zomato and others, and the representatives were part of those meetings. And in those meetings, it was decided that for the safety and security of the gig workers, this time limit of 10 minutes promise of delivery within 10 minutes should be removed from the respective platforms, because this forces actually and puts pressure, lot of pressure on the gig workers. That's why it raises serious questions about their safety and security. So all of them have agreed to remove this 10-minute or whatever time limit guarantee from their respective platforms. This has been assured to the Labour Ministry. After Labour Ministry's intervention, now this has been decided that all these platforms will not mention any time limit for the delivery, though the timely delivery will be ensured, but there will not be any time limit which will be mentioned by these platforms.
Right. We also had, Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party. He took on the role of a Blinkit delivery agent to highlight the issues that these delivery agents really face in order to meet that timeline. Akhilesh.
Yeah, just correct. Raghav Chadha was the Aam Aadmi Party member of Parliament of Rajya Sabha. He in fact was leading this demand, and he was very concerned about the plight of these gig workers. We have seen that in the recent past how the gig workers objected to this delivery mechanism, and they also complained that they are not compensated properly for the effort which they are taking, the risk they are taking, and that's why some effort should be done by the government of India. In fact, Raghav Chadha, we saw him posting on the social media that he himself took the role of a gig worker, and he was delivering the product to the behalf of Blinkit. So in a way, he highlighted this whole issue that the safety and security of the gig workers should be highlighted and should be taken care of by the government of India. And now the Labour Ministry has ensured that all these platforms, they do not promise a 10-minute or any specific time mentioned delivery, so that to keep the safety and security of gig workers in mind.
Right, other issues that have been raised, like you were mentioning, it's not just the safety and security of these gig workers, but also in regard to their pay and job security as well.
Well, these issues are there, and we have seen that the Blinkit founder and other founders, they actually clarified that in a way that the kind of compensation which has been given to the gig workers is almost up to around 20,000 to 25,000, which is a fair amount in today's times when the gig worker has been adequately compensated by this platform. So this issue is there, of course, but as far as the Labour Ministry is concerned, we have seen that in the Labour Code, which has been notified in the rules for which are going to be issued shortly, there's a clear-cut provision for the gig workers also for their compensation and the facilities like gratuity and the provident fund. All these facilities will be extended to them also. The government of India is taking and making sure that their interest is taken.
Right, of course, the issues that have been brought up in regard to meeting with that deadline and how it is very, very difficult to battle traffic. As we know, Akhilesh, that traffic seems to be only getting worse in the metros particularly.
That's correct. In fact, this was a big concern that this 10-minute deadline actually harms them because they have to beat the deadline and they have to rush to their delivery point from the godown, and that actually sometimes compromises with their safety and security. Sometimes they are accused of violating traffic laws, and it was a concern expressed by many senior citizens also that sometimes they face risks due to this kind of delivery promise. So of course, after this action has been taken now, that their safety and security is paramount, and that's why there will not be any time limit of any 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes. We have seen that in the case of pizza delivery also, where a 30-minute delivery was imposed, time limit was imposed, and it was said that if you don't get the pizza in 30 minutes, you will get your money back. So these all kinds are there. These all are marketing gimmicks. But the government now says that some intervention has to be done, and that's why now it has been decided that this such promises will be removed from the platform.
Huge relief for these gig workers, taking the pressure off them, because a lot of pressure on them to perform in order, and of course they're risking not just their own lives but also others on the road while they're trying to make it in time for, that deadline that was set of the 10-minute delivery service. If you have any reactions coming about from before, when this decision has been taken by the Labour Ministry, what are Zomato and other such platforms saying on this issue?
Well, I don't have that immediate reaction because the news has just broken that the...
Prior to this, the stand that they've been taking on the issue.
No, prior to that, we know that it's also NDTV has covered it widely. This issue was raised by NDTV also, and you can call it NDTV impact because we have been highlighting this issue so far, that how the gig workers were concerned about their safety and security. They wanted that such time limit should be removed, and not only that, but they should be adequately compensated also. And we have seen that in the past few days that how this issue has snowballed into a major issue when many of them actually decided to strike, and that they decided not to attend the work to highlight their issues and problems. So this has also become a big issue. After that, Labour Ministry had intervened, and now what sources are telling us that after Labour Minister Mr. Mandaviya had called a meeting of all the social media and all these online platforms, after this it has been decided that there will not be any time limit as far as this instant delivery is concerned.
Right, if anything that needs to arrive in 10 minutes is an ambulance and not food and such deliveries, that is the case that these gig workers have been making.
Not only the gig workers, but it's demand by the common citizens also, that what we need is the instant delivery of governance at our doors. That also includes ambulance when somebody is required to get immediate medical attention. Even that point of time, we have to wait for half an hour, 1 hour, sometimes many hours to get an ambulance to take the patient to the nearest hospital. So why not have a surety or a guarantee to get the ambulance in 10 minutes? This is a question which was raised by many concerned citizens. But of course, I mean, if you talk for a middle class house, they actually need sometimes. You need milk, you need bread, you need air sometimes, and immediately you need it. So for that kind of requirement, these platforms, they come as a great help. But of course, one has to take safety and security also into mind. That's why now it has been decided that there will not be any promise of delivery in a specified time period.
Right, of course, the rejection of a system that basically demands speed without safety, without security measures in place, without the flexibility angle, really being there for them. And of course, if they did not make it on time, if they had a bad review because of the delay, this artificial scarcity that is created, for what? For delivering fast food to people.
That's correct. In fact, what we have seen that in such cases, sometimes they also get negative reviews, and we have seen that they have to pull in their own resources to perform this job of a delivery boy, and that's why they have to pull in resources like their own bike, their own petrol, fuel, and their own time. And that's why it ignited a big debate on the social media platforms that why they are not being adequately compensated for all the effort, for all the risk they are taking, and that's why this became a big and major issue. And we have seen that how Dipender Goel also talked about. He gave a breakup of all the compensation which was being received by the gig workers. He mentioned very clearly that if a gig worker works for 20 to 22 or 25 days, the kind of compensation is expected to get. He gave a detailed breakup of the entire amount, which comes to around 20 to 25,000 rupees, which he believes that is fair enough, a fair amount in today's time. So this is what ignited the debate. But of course, there's another dimension to this whole debate, which is about the safety and security of the gig workers who are being forced to deliver the products within 10 minutes. Though the companies say very clearly that they have to transport the stuff only from the godowns which are placed in the nearer places in the colonies, in the residential areas where the requirement of such goods is there, and that's why it does not take them much time to transport the goods from one place from the godown to the household, and that's why there's not much risk is involved. This is the point of view of the companies, of the platforms, online platforms. But they also say that they have been adequately giving attention to the gig workers and their safety and security. Adequate safety gears were provided to them. They were given jackets so that people on the roads can identify that these are the delivery boys who are actually there on the road.
Right. Akhilesh, of course, this has come about, close on the heels of that logout that we saw of gig workers on the 25th of December, that's Christmas, and then again on New Year's Eve, because they went on to demand safety, flexibility, and also, work with rights, not work without rights.
That's correct. In fact, on 25th December, there was a big demand, and they actually, decided to stop the work. They said that unless their demands were met and their problems were not being paid proper attention to, they will not do the delivery of the necessary products. That actually spoiled the festive mood. And that was the time when there was a lot of hue and cry on the social media platforms, and the demand were raised by various platforms and also by various users that the government should intervene.
Akhilesh, hold that thought. We have Sheikh Salahuddin, Gig Workers Association Secretary, joining us. Sir, thank you so much for speaking with us here on NDTV. What's your reaction to the Labour Ministry taking, a charge of, making it more secure and safe for gig workers?
This is really good step, thanks to Ministry of Labour and Minister Sir, because we have to lot of times, the all electronic and print media, I told, kindly interfering in this matter from Government of India. Now the Minister should be replay this so-and-so 10-minute delivery, and thanks to interfere in this matter, Honorable Minister.
Right, absolute huge relief. Thank you so much,
sir. This is the victory of workers who dedicated 25th December and 31st December was the strike to, this is a flash strike, this is the, we have 210,000 workers in the part of the strike. This is the whole, the nation who was the delivery workers. This is the victory should be dedicatedly
from compensated for foregoing their earnings on those two particular days. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with us here on NDTV.